Hey there, English teachers. I have a couple of tools I wanted to share with you that will help make your performance task data analysis go a little more smoothly in your PLC collaborative teams. So the first thing we're looking at here is a spreadsheet I made for you. So basically what you would do is one person would make a copy of this and share it with your team, and then each person would replace their name here with these example ones I plugged in. And then you're going to count up the total number of scores for all of your students combined for both genre and conventions. So for example, if I'm teacher A, I'm going to replace my last name here. I'm going to look through all of my students' assessments and count up the total number of 4s, 3s, 2s, and so on for the genre score. And no score, by the way, is if they, left it blank or didn't turn it in. And then I'm going to do the same thing for conventions. I'm going to look through all my kids' scores again and plug in those numbers down here. It'll keep a running total for me on the side, so this number should match up with my roster number. And then you'll notice there's a total going on down at the bottom for the entire grade level. So this final number should be the number of kids in your grade level combined. And if whatever you don't need, just make sure you delete completely so that it's not populated. This is just example data I plugged in. So this is one way for you to look at your information and have a conversation, but I wanted to show you another way that makes it a little more visual and cool to look at. This is a tool called Infogram. So you just go to infogram.com, you log in with your CUSD Google account, and then once you get to the home page, you select Chart. And I'm going to walk you through now just some steps to make your graph. So I recommend you choose the grouped graph, either horizontal or vertical. It's up to your preference. I'm going to use this vertical one. So you can see it says insert. When I hover over it, I just click and drag into the workspace here. And this graph is pre-populated with some data. So to edit that, I go to this little waffle thing that says edit data. And you can see this is its pre-populated information. Okay, so this is the cool part. You're going to love this. If you click on this Google Drive button here, it's going to search my drive for other spreadsheets that I have in existence. So there's my data spreadsheet that my team was just working on. So now this graph is populating it with all of the information on that spreadsheet. It's pretty cool. I'm going to go through and delete these headers because we don't want that on our graph. So deleting all those things. And then let's say I want like genre and conventions on two different graphs. I don't want them on the same one here. If you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see it says to add a new spreadsheet. So once you click on that, it will make an exact copy of the spreadsheet that you're on. So what I can do then is go back to sheet 1 and I can delete the convention scores off of that, and it will narrow down my graph a little bit more. And another thing I want to do is the total height, the y-axis here, you can see this has 400. We don't have 400 students in a grade level, so I want to make that smaller, to make this graph more visual. So I go over here to settings, and then for axis and grid, you want to open that up and scroll all the way down. And where it says y-axis range, the maximum number is what you're going to change. So this would be the maximum number of kids in your grade level. So our 7th and 8th grade teachers, you may adjust that to like 150. And our 6th grade teachers, you may want to put it at like 70 or so. So you can see as I did that, it made some more adjustments. Now let's say I want to remove the total scores so I can just look at grade breakdown by 4, 3, 2, 1 rubric score. So I'm going to delete the total scores off of this graph as well. And now I'm going to delete my total scores altogether. So I'm basically just whittling this down to just my teachers and 4, 3, 2, 1. And you could even, reduce your graphs even more depending on what your data is saying if you want to look at things more closely. But now you have a visual, and you can see if I hover over, it'll kind of highlight certain colors, and so we can have a conversation with each other about what teaching strategies we use that were maybe more successful for some and not others. We can separate it out. We can look at our total scores. You can make this say whatever you want it to. So it's a pretty cool way to visually look at data, and the nice thing is too, you can also add multiple charts on one page. So if I decide I want to do another group chart down below, I can just insert it down here too. So there you go. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want any help figuring this out.